Evening and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming to you from Green Dragon in Woodbridge to talk about video games. How are you, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm not so bad. Playing a couple of different things these past months.
Yeah.
Namely, Trails of Cold Steel. Now I'm playing something called Look Outside by a single Canadian guy. Made an RPG Maker. It's a pretty awesome game.
Nice.
Yeah. From what I understand, you're playing Bravely Default.
I have been slogging away at Bravely Default, and for the most part enjoying it, but it's kind of taken me by surprise a little bit now that I've sort of realized the second half of the game is mostly redoing the first half, like 4 times or 3 times over. It's a very much a love-hate relationship. I love the game, but I'm getting really sick and tired of kind of slogging through the same things over and over, just more difficult. Like, it's suited for like the most die-hard JRPG fans on the planet. Like, it's definitely not for your casual. Yeah,
I remember feeling quite the same when I played it on the 3DS all those years ago.
Yeah,
putting it down in the second half. But
yeah, aside from that, I jumped into Devil May Cry Remaster on the PS5, the original one, the first one, and that's been a nice sort of reprieve from a slog-fest JRPG. It's what I've been keeping busy with.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's an expansive game, and I think on that note, something interesting to talk about floating around in the news and on the horizon actually right now.
Yeah, another seemingly expansive game that's coming out.
Game.
Yeah.
Coming out in March, I believe. Middle of March, and this is Crimson Desert. Something that I've been seeing in the video game headlines insofar as IGN wrote an article about it the other day that wasn't entirely positive. Seems a bit undue given the fact that it's not even, it's too early for us to even wrap our heads around what they're trying to do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Crimson Desert, man. Of all the things coming out in the first half of the year, and there are quite a few decent looking games that are coming out already this year. We've had Code Vein 2, and we've had the Legend of Heroes game.
Right.
I think Trails on the horizon, which is something I hope to get to one day when I plow through the other 10 games before it in the series. But, next month we have Resident Evil, or later this month. Wow, it's already February. We have Resident Evil. We have...
Does Neo come out this month?
Neo comes out. Neo 3? That's right. We have a Fatal Frame remake. There's Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest 7. Yeah, reimagined. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of good things, but...
feels like the year's kicking off finally now.
It does.
After a little bit of a lull.
One thing most of these games have in common, though, is they're all new entries in pre-existing series, if they're not remakes straight up of games that already came out before.
That is true.
Yeah. There's Resident Evil, there's Neo, there's Code Vein. These are sequels.
Typical fashion of the industry these days.
Yeah, we've talked about before many times how the best thing is a new IP.
Yeah, in the video game space, or in almost any entertainment thing, like a brand new IP, like total original new idea, is like the cream of the crop. I think
it is the cream of the crop.
Maybe slightly based on the games that they've made before, which have been MMOs. I don't know if it actually is or not.
Yeah, Crimson Desert, I think it's set in the same universe as their MMO, which is called Black Desert Online.
Maybe not entirely a new IP, but the fact that they're switching gears from their usual fare, which is MMO-style games, to just like a single-player, story, action, adventure, whatever you want to call it.
That's right. You wouldn't know from the marketing that it's in a pre-existing IP.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know. So
it's definitely, so far as I'm concerned, a new intellectual property.
Yeah.
And the real crazy thing is you don't really see anything at this scale, at this budget, being developed in the West. A new IP
I think everyone
looks to cost like $1 bajillion.
Yeah, right.
In a real flashy proprietary engine. When's the last time you saw something like that?
It's not even the Unreal Engine like everything else these days.
No, it's not Unreal Engine.
Their own engine.
It's their own engine.
Some of these points we just made are almost reasons alone to try it out. The fact that they're running on their own engine, and the fact that they're going from making MMOs to a single player game. I would almost buy it just based on that alone.
That's another thing that I find pretty impressive. They're not the first Korean studio to be doing this.
That's right.
We've had the Liza P developers go from making some kind of like mobile multiplayer slop games to making Souls-like at the AAA scale. Last year we had Kazan.
Yes.
Second developer to follow in those footsteps. And now we have these guys who've gone from making perhaps something a little bit closer to what this game is going to be, in that it's an open world MMO. So it's more of a resemblance. But nonetheless, it's encouraging to see that movement, because we're so used in the West to developers who once made awesome games that we liked, that were traditional single player offerings, go to make some kind of
live service or you know, some phony MMO style thing.
Something
like, you
less
know,
interesting.
Look at like Fallout 76, for example, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It has none of the trappings of what makes a good Fallout game. They stripped away pretty much everything that makes Fallout just to be like, hey, we want to make it, you know, live servicey and MMO styled or whatever you want to call it. But
absolutely, even seeing From Software make Night Rain, which I know was well received, it's not to my taste. It's not got what makes a Souls-like game special to my estimation.
We will always celebrate the reverse.
Yeah,
you know,
that the developer here, Pearl Abyss, has gone from making an MMO to making a single-player game.
Yep,
the likes of which, you know, you don't really see people developing that much since something like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, really. When's the last time you saw a game like this made at this scale? Yeah,
like a Witcher style, massive open world. You're right.
It's very 10 years ago, is it not?
Yes, it is very, actually,
yeah. I mean, the closest thing probably from recent years was Dragon's Dogma 2, which is much more limited.
Yeah.
I think, in terms of how the world is constructed. You know, a bunch of cities connected by essentially hallways through the mountains.
Yeah, not very heavy on like the story. Like you create a character, it's not like a named character like it is in this game, right?
That's
like
right.
The character's more integral to the plot. There's actually 3 playable characters, I believe.
Yeah, in this game, that's another interesting thing, you know.
And they're all named characters with their own, you know, like stories, backgrounds, whatever you want to call it.
Apparently can enter into quests that the other characters are not able to enter into. So, yeah, I guess that's what's really standing out about this game to me. The fact that it's a single player open world AAA high fantasy action game. You know,
wild.
It recalls like The Witcher, and it does look a little bit like Dragon's Dogma, but there's not really been anything like this developed by a Western studio or anybody else in quite some time.
And it seems to be, you know, a blend of that like 10 years ago, like you said, The Witcher style, but with some of the newer things we've seen, like, you know, and how Breath of the Wild had like the paraglider, and in this one you see the character sort of gliding through, which I feel is a very important thing nowadays. And if you're making
in an open world,
if you're making a huge open world, like there's fast travel is one thing, but to be able to explore the world without just using fast travel, but doing it on a, you know, some kind of quicker pace, like flying around or gliding around, like that is also another cool element to be able to actually explore the world.
It's definitely an important feature, I think, too,
than just zipping or fast traveling through, you know, I made it here and now I can just beam there. Like it's kind of takes away from the open world aspect.
It does, right? That sense of mastery in space, of like progressing ability to move. Really lends games a unique feel. It's something we talked about as far back as when Bloodstained Ritual of the Night came out.
That's true, and that was a 2D game. Imagine on like the 3D scale. Even in Forspoken, I remember it being a big thing.
I enjoyed that in Forspoken.
Nobody else liked that game. Yeah, we loved it.
I did like it, actually, and the movement was really one of the big parts about it.
For sure.
It felt really cool to just traverse open space.
Yeah.
One of the things that seems to justify the, you know, in terms of the game's inner logic, the existence of the open world in the first place, right?
That's exactly it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not against fast travel by any means, but if you're gonna make this big, beautiful open world, you got to make there like some cool ways to traverse it,
move
literally,
across
right?
The world.
Yeah,
instead of just a simple horse or something.
Yeah,
like that. One of the things that this game has been in the news for is the fact that IGN was writing recently about how one of the developers visited the studio to play a little bit of the game, and that they feel like it's got a lot going on. They're still not able to put their fingers on what the developer's trying to do, and that they were just throwing in everything that they had the ability to throw in. And you know, we've spoken before about how bloat in games can be a negative thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like even some of the best games I've ever played or that I enjoy,
I've been
like
very
Elden Ring, for example.
Elden Ring for sure. Even like as far as like Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the greatest games practically like of all time, people clamor about, and I've been very vocal about it being bloated in
somewhat obese.
Some aspects, right?
It definitely, its core conceit, its identity is, it's encumbered by excess fat, you know? So I think that that's a real possibility when you're making a game like this, that there could just be too much going on, and in the course of just getting through it, you tire out before you really see it through to the end. Its main ideas can't really shine because you're too caught up in all of the tangential side stuff you have to do. That's a real possibility.
Definitely.
But at the same time, you know, on this side of its release, before we even get a chance to play it,
it's too early.
I don't really think that it's, you know, this goes around a lot, but I don't think it's really fair to judge it that way, right? The funny thing is, you'll see games like Highguard just came out, for example. It's a by all accounts, a terrible game in a genre that I hate. And I'm frankly happy that it did badly because I don't want games like that to be made.
Yeah.
But you'll see developers and even journalists being like, you shouldn't be judging this game. You should celebrate the fact that it was made. It's so funny that something comes out, it's trash, it's in a bad genre, and people are defending it
instantly.
Something's not even out yet. So people are working
and they're already skeptical. Yeah,
they're making the kind of project we should celebrate the creation of, and people are skeptical about its.
Makes you wonder, like, where is the alignment right now? Like, is it because it's an Asian studio?
Yeah, I think that probably has something to do with it.
What's the reason? Probably jealousy because nobody in the West can make anything like this anymore.
There's probably a lot of aesthetic sensibilities and design philosophies that Western journalists and developers, for reasons we've discussed before, they're not favorable towards it. But, it's true. We should admit that there's a real possibility of the thing being bloated.
Oh, for sure. It could end up being like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where there's just way too much to do, and I'll never do any of it. But
you're just tired of it before you get to the end.
But I like to hope that that's not going to happen, right?
But an expansive open world where all of the different components serve the developer's conception, their world building elements, it's possible that this will be the case.
And even if it is massive, like Elden Ring's massive, and I think it's way too big for me personally, but it is an impressive achievement.
It's an impressive achievement,
right? Like, even if it's just way too grandiose for me, like
that's true.
I don't think I'll ever finish it or we'll never see everything that the game has to offer, but like, it's damn impressive.
It's cool what they've accomplished.
Like,
at the very least, I think it's worth celebrating that people have this kind of ambition and that they have the resources to follow through with it too.
For sure.
That's pretty cool. Kudos to these guys for trying to do something like this, I guess I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Who else but companies like Rockstar, have even attempted something like that before?
Yeah.
Or CD Projekt with The Witcher 3, right? With an IP that they already put, 2 games into before they even had the chance to do something like that, right? So, makes me wonder too. I was reading, I think we discussed this, Toshihiro Kondo, the guy who works at Nihon Falcom, he's the CEO.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about how, what makes their games unique is the fact that they have this like handcrafted feel, and they can't compete with like Korean studios and their budgets, but they can, maintain their own, the unique identity of their works, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that he remarked on the fact that these Korean studios have such massive budgets, and it's something I think we can see here. Like, these guys obviously have a lot of resources involved in this, right?
Yeah, I guess that comes from their previous MMO games.
Yeah,
right?
really. I don't even
cash cows.
I guess so, or maybe they got some investors dumping money into it. Who really knows? But it takes a lot to develop a project like this. Probably an army of people.
Yeah,
a lot of money, and they're working with a proprietary engine too. I don't know if we mentioned that.
That's also pretty interesting. And that's even the crazier thing. Like, most studios will just be like, "Hey, we'll just use established tools like Unreal or whatever." But these guys clearly have been working with this engine that they've probably developed on their own for their MMO games, and just the fact that they're maintaining it and not giving up on it. Like, even big, huge companies have given up on their own engines, like Konami with the Fox engine.
Yeah, that's right. They've just moved to Unreal.
Massive company that absolutely has the resources to keep their own engine alive, and they're just like, nah, we'll just use Unreal. Like, well, why?
They put out videos detailing all of the features of the engine with its like shallow water depiction, volumetric fog.
And it looks pretty good.
Yeah, they have atmospheric scattering. I don't really know what that is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They adequately simulate the movement of hair and clothing. There's all kinds of cool features, ray tracing, for what that's worth. In any case, it's a highly impressive technical accomplishment to design something like this in-house and then go on to build a game this massive with it, right? So that's my overwhelming sense when I look at this. Like, yeah, the possibility is real that it could be a bloated game. But at the same time, like, look what these guys are trying to accomplish,
Yeah, you have to at least give them a shot, especially the fact that, I know I've probably mentioned this like 5 times already, but just the fact that they're probably cozy making MMO games, making money from whales playing those games, Lord knows whatever people spend money on in MMOs and subscription fees and cosmetics, blah, blah, blah. For them to just want to switch gears and then get into something like this, like, that just is worth the price of admission alone.
It's appealing to me.
Yeah, like,
in a year so far, just stuffed full of just straight up sequels, if not remakes.
Yeah, remakes, sequels, blah blah blah.
Oftentimes made in similar engines to other games, looking not that different from other games. In many cases, it's refreshing to see something like this, right? It's
for sure.
More or less an original IP in an original engine at a scale nothing else is even attempting.
Not even close.
So far this year. So yeah, that's why I think amongst all the stuff that's on the docket so far, this is one of the most exciting projects. I'm looking forward to playing this.
Yeah,
even if it does turn out to be less than I'm hoping for, it'll be cool to pick through it a while, right?
Yeah, definitely. I will at least jump in, day one to see what's up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I guess even if overall my preference is for more
of a
curated worlds, you know, more curated virtual spaces, I think anybody would find something like this impressive.
Yeah, like I'm not a huge open world fan, you know, especially lately with some of the bigger open world games. I do enjoy, like you said, something a little more curated, streamlined, whatever you want to put it. But this is too, like, I can't overlook this. You know, like it's,
I think
for
that's
the
why,
reasons
like,
we've listed. It's
why coming from people whose tastes perhaps don't perfectly align with what it is, this kind of sentiment I think is meaningful. You know, it looks interesting based on the kind of thing it is, based on the ambition, based on the original engine, original intellectual property. So to my estimation, this is one of the more exciting projects so far this year. Other than this, like, what other original intellectual properties are even releasing? We were talking about Saros from Housemarque, the guys who made Returnal the other year. So
that looks cool too.
That'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. But
other than that, there's just, like you said, the Dragon Quest 7 reimagined
or remakes or remasters.
I mean, I'll still maybe play that. GTA 6. I mean,
I'm definitely not playing that.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
everything is kind of same but not same.
Same-ishness,
you know,
same-ishness prevails. It's great to see something that's obviously iterating on pre-existing stuff. Like, you can see its influences very clearly. Like, there's some Breath of the Wild in there. There's some Witcher. There's some Dragon's Dogma.
For sure.
You know, there's all kinds of stuff we can recognize, but they're doing their own thing. They're going big, and I guess we can celebrate that.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah, it's worth something. It's worth checking out and being excited about, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Kudos to these guys. And I guess I'm looking forward to playing this in March, man.
Yeah, keep an eye out for this one.
A month and a bit away. Yeah, Crimson Desert.
Might end up being worthy of your time, I would say.
Yeah, at least worthy of a good 20, 30 hours poking around in the massive world that they've built. Yeah. Even the way that, you know, we've seen bosses, they look to be quite varied. You know, there's man-sized bosses, there's giant monsters, there's all kinds of stuff that looks like it'll be fun to engage with.
Yeah.
Their combat system looks definitely not Souls-like.
More
like
Souls, more character action,
more
I
fast,
guess, right? Yeah.
Somewhat more arcadey, if that's the right descriptor.
Which makes sense for an open world game anyway.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, man. That'll be fun. Yeah. It'll be interesting to get involved in, especially now that so many things are adopting like Souls-like mechanics. It's
that's
somewhat,
true.
Even as somebody who loves Souls-like games, it's refreshing to see something a little bit different. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really excited for this game. I think it'll be cool. There's even like different missions. You know, there's small scale missions engaging with individual characters. There's like siege battles in castles. There's hunting monsters, all kinds of stuff that they showcase so far. So yeah, I think, you know, I can agree with IGN. It's hard to put your finger on what exactly they're trying to do, but that's exactly why I think it's worth being excited about.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
Everything in the kitchen sink kind of approach. It's ambitious, and it's what I'm most looking forward to so far this year.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I don't know. Give Crimson Desert a look. Lots of videos on the official YouTube channel, and the game's coming out in a month and a bit, so
I'm sure we will report back with our findings then.
Yeah, we will. In any case, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Take care.
Oh yeah.